Hello again. Today we're going to do another longer, just regular kind of yoga class, a full, simple yoga class. All we need is a mat. If you happen to have some blocks and other stuff that you like to use, you can feel free to use those. We are going to start lying down for this one. So this one we'll start with a supine warm-up. So whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and find ourselves lying back on our mat. So remember, we can begin with our knees up or with our legs out long, whatever feels better. Palms up. So we'll begin in Shavasana, whatever variation that needs to take for you. Now let's begin with our eyes closed and just breathing into our belly, maybe even placing our hands on our belly and feeling just our belly rise with our inhales and see how close it can get to the floor with our exhales. And just feeling ourselves supported by the floor. Checking in with how our body is feeling. And sliding one hand up to our heart, let's begin our three-part breath. Inhaling, filling our belly, lifting our ribs and then our heart. And with our exhale, we lower our heart, our ribs, and our belly. So making sure to fill up, inhale belly, ribs and heart. Exhaling heart, ribs and belly. And just opening ourselves to whatever this day and this practice has to bring to us. And let's take our hands by our side, palms up, and just make sure there's nothing overhead. We're going to inhale our hands out and up overhead, and exhale them back down by our side. Kind of like we're making snow angels, but just the wings. Inhaling up, exhaling back down. Let's bring our hands by our side, and we're going to hug our knees and just rock gently side to side if that feels good. Maybe kick everything out if that's what we need. And just take a moment here to release our lower back. Bringing our feet to the floor, hands down by our sides, and we want to walk back until we can touch our fingertips and our heels. And let's flow with our bridge here. We're going to inhale, lifting our hips up to the ceiling. Exhale, coming back down. Following that three-part breath back pattern. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And just finding the rhythm of our own breath here. On our next exhale, let's bring it down. We're going to toe heel our feet till we feel the edges of our mat, open our arms, and just begin to lower our knees over to one side and then the other. Just taking it back and forth a few times. Seeing how we're feeling through our core, through our hips. And let's come back to the center. We're going to toe heel our feet together. Let the heels come together and open our knees. So let's bring our hands underneath our head and shoulders. And we're going to squeeze our feet into one another and lift them up off the floor. And just hover here for a moment. Let's release. Take a deep breath or two. And we want to take a deep inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. But keep breathing into the top of our lungs. And let's lower down. Opening up, let's hug it in. And we're going to go ahead and roll all the way over to our side. Take our top hand, push up. Let's come over to our hands and knees. Make sure everything's stacked. And just begin a little cat and cow here. Inhaling, exhaling. And we'll bring it back to neutral, lifting through our navel. Let's begin to imagine we're going to touch our hip and our shoulders. Switching sides. We can even look over, see if we can see our hip. Warming up our entire spine laterally or sideways. We can even begin to work our core a little bit by speeding up the pace. Just taking it mindfully with awareness. And let's bring it back to the center. And we're going to inhale here, one hand up, exhale, touch the elbow or the shoulder, inhale up, switch sides, exhale. And we're just going to do a little twisting here, working from our navel. See if we can keep it light. One more. Pressing back to child's pose. Let's walk our hands forward. We're going to separate them out shoulder distance. Take a little break here if you need to. Pause the video for a moment. But we're going to begin to inhale forward. Find a little push up. Lower down, push up, and press back. So again, moving with our own breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling to lower down. Inhaling up, exhaling back. If we feel like a little more work, we can take it to a couple of push-ups, or 3 or 4 or more. But just getting in touch with our upper body. And the next time we come to our plank, let's hold. Maybe even tucking our toes, lifting all the way up. And we can even press back to downward facing dog from here. Lifting through our hips. We can also take this to child's pose. Now let's begin to walk our hands to our feet. And just take a moment here, shake everything out. And then with bent knees, let's inhale, we'll bring it up, finding our mountain. Let's go ahead and step up to the top edge of our mat. And we're just going to do a few sun salutation A's. So let's inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hinging forward, still with slightly bent knees. Inhaling halfway up. Let's exhale and bow. So we're going to do these senior style. Stepping back to our plank and holding. So breathing as best we can. When we're ready to move, we're going to exhale, lower our knees, hips, chest. And then we'll roll our shoulder blades together, inhale our chest forward and up. And then exhale for child's pose or downward dog, whichever pose we're feeling. Taking as much time here as we need to rest. When we're ready to move on, we will inhale and look forward. Exhale, walking our feet to our hands. Now let's inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to our heart. And we'll inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale and down. And we'll take it back to our plank again, maybe lunging this time. Remember, we can always bring this to our knees. And when we are ready to move on, let's lower down knees, hips, chest. Inhaling forward and up. Exhaling child's pose or downward dog. And let's inhale, looking at our hands. Exhaling, feet to our hands. Now let's inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to our heart. Now let's do one more, because everything comes in threes. Exhale. Inhale. Walk it or lunge it. Lifting our navel. Moving with our exhale. and our inhale. Picking the pose of our choice. Let's inhale, looking up. Exhaling, feet to our hands. And hinging ourselves up, inhale. And take a little break here. Let's just do a little step touch here. Should feel warmed up by now. Breathing a little heavy. Sun salutations are our cardio in yoga. So we got that taken care of. We're going to step to the back edge of our mat when we're ready. Let's take a giant step forward with our right foot. And we're going to find warrior one. And we're going to open up to warrior two. So separate the feet as necessary. Just making sure shoulders stay over hips. Gazing down our right arm. Thinking about drawing the feet in and up, lifting and drawing our energy up. Let's flip our front hand and reach forward, and then up, reverse warrior. And on an exhale, we'll take our forearm to our thigh, side angle. Our upper arm can be in the air, at our hip, or back behind us. Our other arm can stay where it is, or come down to the floor, or we can just hover here, working on our core. Now let's inhale, reverse warrior. And we're going to go ahead and drop one hand down, see about reaching the other one up, and just kind of see where they lined up. Now let's open from here. Inhale, exhale, side angle. Remembering those variations on our arms. And we're just going to revolve this, bring our upper arm to our thigh, other hand around behind us. Let's unwind from here, warrior two, straighten the front leg. Let's shift our hips back and reach forward. Keep reaching and hold. Finding our triangle right from here. Finding our three-part breath. Breathing through our mouth if that's what we need to do. And let's flow. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. We're going to switch it back up. Inhale, warrior one. And exhale, back to our mountain. Let's step our feet to the edges of our mat. Circle our hips for a moment. Both ways. And from that back edge of our mat, let's take the left foot forward this time. Warrior one. Opening up, warrior two. Checking our alignment. Is our spine long? Let's flip our hand and reach forward. Reverse warrior, reaching up. Drawing the energy in and up, squeezing our feet toward each other. And taking it to our side angle. Remembering the options with each arm. Three-part breaths. Making our way back to reverse warrior. So let's check out our shoulders on this side, reaching down, reaching up. And just noticing if there are any differences on this side. There usually are, so it's totally normal if one side is We got our hands a little closer than on the other side. And let's open up from here. Exhale, side angle. And we're going to revolve this. So remembering not to pull, just let it happen from our waist. And let's open up. Warrior two, straighten both legs, shift the hips and reach. Keep reaching, lifting through the navel. And then we're right there, we'll find our triangle. Breathing as deeply as we can. And let's inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. When we're ready, we'll inhale, warrior one. And exhale, back to our mountain. And again, let's work the hips, a few circles. Other way. We're going to come to our balance now. So if you need to, get near the wall. This is a good one to do facing the wall. We're just going to start with our thigh stretch. Hands straight down by our side, lifting one foot up, and just taking hold of the foot or the ankle right here. And most of us may stay here before trying to move on to dancer pose. Remember, it helps to find something that's not moving to stare at. Let's bring that down, shift our weight, lift through our navel, focus on that thing that's not moving. We'll lift the other foot, reach straight down. Both hands straight down naturally. And again, most of us are going to stay just like this for the next round. We're going to go back to that first foot. Again, facing the wall perhaps. So the front hand comes forward. Let's reach straight down for our foot. If we choose, we're going to look at our dancer pose. We're going to release the foot, rotate our thumb out, not under, but out. So we can reach the inside of our ankle. And then we can push hand and foot together. That's where this hand comes in handy. We can try letting go of the wall, or use the wall. Let's bring that back in and release. So again, we're going to reach down for that first foot and just hold right here. If, however, we want to try it, we're going to rotate out externally, reach to the inside of our foot, and press hand and foot together. Now let's bring that back down. Make sure to get some water if you feel like you need it. We always want to stay hydrated no matter what kind of exercise we do. And when you're ready, we're going to take it to the top edge of our mat, finding our mountain. Let's close our eyes for a moment. Finding that three-part breath, inhaling belly, ribs and heart. Exhaling heart, ribs and belly. And on an inhale, let's sweep it up. Exhale, forward fold. And we're going to step back to our plank for just a moment to lower down to our knees and our chest. So let's untuck our toes. Take our hands by our side. And we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together. Let's inhale and lift our fingers and toes and reach them back. And keep the crown of our head forward so our nose will stay pointed to the floor. Squeezing into our spine, streamlining down our body. And let's release from here, rest. We can take our head to one side or stack our arms. See if we can release our entire back side, particularly our glutes and lower back, and take a few deep breaths just into our belly. When we're ready, we'll bring our forehead back to the floor. Hands either back by our side like they were before, or out and up like a cactus. And we're gonna lift and squeeze shoulder blades together. This time our fingertips point forward. If we find that this is too much, remember we can always go back to where we were. And let's release, taking our head to the other side or opposite arm on top. Breathing deeply into just our belly, promoting relaxation in our body. So let's come back. We're going to look at one more variation. Remember, we can either the other two that we've just done, or we can shrug our shoulder blades together, clasp our hands, and lift from here. So picking the variation that feels best for our body right now. Breathing into our chest, opening our heart. And let's release. This time we're going to place hands under our shoulders, press up. Let's come around and have a seat. We're going to look at opening our hips. So let's come to an easy seat with one foot in front of the other, or we're going to look at our double pigeon where we stack one calf on top of the other. So whichever one of these is accessible to you, and then whichever variation we're in, foot in front, leg on top, we're just going to hinge forward. If you're in this variation, the stacked variation, you're going to feel that hip a lot more than if you're in the other easy seat variation. But either way, you should feel that hip, or even both hips maybe opening up a little bit, stretching out. Let's see if we can find our 3-part breath. If we need to, we can always back off a little bit. Think about maybe sinking with our exhales. Let's go ahead and lift from here. We're going to inhale the opposite hand from the leg that's on top or in front, and we're going to exhale that hand around to our knee. Other hand comes up toward our bottom. So our spine stays long, and we're not pulling, we're just letting our waist do all the work here, and maybe looking over our shoulder. And let's unwind from here. Let's go ahead and take it here. We're going to make easy fists, place them right by our bottoms, and let's just open up our spine here. See if we can traction our spine to open up a little bit right here. And release. So we're going to come into that easy seat with the other leg in front, or we're going to try that stacked version, one leg right on top of the other. Same thing as before, we're going to bow forward. Another place where we might notice some differences, just as our shoulders can be different from each other, our hips usually are too. So if we find more of a challenge on one side than the other, totally normal. We're letting go of any judgments of that. And just breathing. Seeing if we can breathe through our nose at this point. That slows down our exhale, promoting relaxation. And let's sit up tall. We'll take the opposite arm up. Inhale and lift. Exhale and twist without grabbing and pulling. Finishing up with our chin over our shoulder. And just lengthening up tall with each inhale. Staying tall through our spine. let's unwind from here. And again, easy seat or bound angle. And we're going to go ahead and open up here again. And we're going to look at a variation on our tortoise pose next. Taking our legs wide. This is kind of like our side angle pose. We're going to bring one arm down in front, open the other up. And just testing our balance a little bit. Let's take this hand and maybe reach down and grab over our ankle, hug our belly in, and see if maybe we can lift that foot up. Let's go ahead and bring that down, come back to the center. Let's take it to the other side. So again, just open up here. Feel free to stay right here. Or give that little balance option a shot here. A lot of different things going on at this point. And release. We're going to go ahead and roll it down to the floor. It's right back to where we started. But let's again shake it all out. We'll rock side to side, whatever we're feeling. And we're going to start with a bridge that we will hold this time. So again, hands down by our side. Let's walk until we feel our fingers and toes. Inhale and lift. So this time we're going to balance back on our shoulders. Keep lifting through our hips, breathing into our heart, finding that three-part breath again. On an exhale, let's lower down. And we're going to bring the soles of our feet together, knees wide, like we did before, hands behind our head. This time we're going to take it to some crunches though. So a little bit of crunches, pressing our heel into the floor over and over with an option to let our feet hover like they did before. You'll notice that's a little more intense. And let's release down. Reach our arms overhead. And now we're going to hug our knees. And we're going to see if we can reach to our feet, or at least our ankles, and just begin to take our feet up to the ceiling. We might find that we just want to hold behind our thighs. Some of us might even be able to hold our feet, going into our happy baby pose. So remember, smile. We can rock a little bit here as well. And if we're there, we can see about drawing our knees closer toward the floor. Let's take our feet back to the ceiling, hands behind our head, feet long or knees bent. Let's try a few little reverse crunches here where the hips lift each time. And we'll bring that down and release, hands by our side. So we're going to open up our chest again with our fish pose. If you prefer, however, take it back to the bridge pose that we did before, because this can get a little intense. So we're going to start in Shavasana, hands by our side, rolling and walking our arms underneath. And we may find we just want to stay right here. We can do this. Or we're going to draw our navel in, lift our head and shoulders, bringing the crown of our head back to the floor. And for this, let's find our three-part breath. On an exhale, we'll lift up, roll down. Remember our hands, let's hug our knees. Now let's continue to hold one knee. We're going to press the other foot down into our wall, reach over with our opposite hand, and let's roll all the way over to our side. So letting the foot come down if the knee doesn't. Reaching away with our opposite hand. Keep pressing into the floor with that long leg. Noticing what it's like to breathe here. Let's unwind back to the center. We'll take a big long stretch. We'll keep pushing that other foot into the wall, hug our opposite knee in, reach across, and roll it over. It's the same twist, but on this side. We may not get as deep as the other side, maybe more. Just notice, continuing to breathe. Let's unwind from here. One more big stretch. Hands and feet reaching away. And then we'll bring hands down by our side. We're going to come into our final relaxation. So here again, we can keep our legs long. We can keep our knees bent. Hands on our belly or out by our side. We can even roll over to one side. And let's just find something comfortable, using some props here if we want. And just releasing our breath, softening our belly, softening our chest, closing our eyes, and just letting our breath come naturally. Releasing our arms and legs. Releasing the muscles of our jaw. Enjoying a few moments of peace, a few moments of quiet in our day. Pausing the video to stay here as long as we wish. And when we're ready to release, we'll wiggle our fingers and toes. We'll start to move our arms and legs. Moving whatever way our body is feeling. And when we're ready, side, just monitoring ourselves, especially if we were here for a little while. We don't want to come up too quickly. But when we are ready, we'll use our top hand and push up. Let's just come around to a comfortable seat. And just taking a couple of moments to check in again, see how we're feeling. If we can remember what it was like a little while ago, see how we're feeling compared to then. Hopefully we're feeling a little better. But let's take a nice big inhale together. Exhaling hands to our heart. All that is good and light in me honors all that is good and light in you. Namaste.